Well, my name is Max Stinnett, and my master's project, worked with improving student feedback, or writing feedback to students. In the intensive English program, the English language learners write writing samples, typically a short essay, and then the teacher gives them feedback on that essay, either in writing or one-on-one in conferences. And then it's hoped that the student takes that information, that feedback, and when they rewrite their essay, they make improvements, correct the errors, and then on future writing samples that they don't make those same errors. And what I found was in my class that in a lot of cases that wasn't happening. So I researched to find out why it wasn't happening, and I came up with a couple of possible reasons. One of them is that the cognitive overload, the students getting too much information. I mean, even native English speakers, after 3 or 4 minutes of grammar rules, they glaze over. And then the second reason was after they got home to rewrite the essay, they weren't sure what the feedback meant. So to correct those errors, or to correct those problems, what I did was I combined a number of software applications. The first one is Turnitin, and Turnitin is usually a plagiarism checking software. I think most people use it for plagiarism checking. But it also has a function to create quick marks. So the student uploads their paper, and then the teacher identifies grammar errors, and then they pull over one of these quick marks and put that on the grammar error or on the writing error. And then the student later, when they're rewriting their paper and they click on that tag, it takes them to a web page that we've created in Wix that addresses that specific error, okay? And then the student is able to read. So for an example here, do I choose A or and? Which article do I use? So the student made that error, so when they're rewriting their paper, they click on that quick mark tag. It takes them to this web page that we've created in Wix, and it explains how do we decide to use A or and. And then after that, if the student wants more information about that, there are these links at the bottom that take them to either additional web content that I've found on the internet, or YouTube videos that address, again, that specific error, or there are some practice exercises, or I also use Google Forms to create a knowledge check quiz. So by the time the student's done all that, then they have the information that they need so they don't make that error in their future writing samples. When in teaching, I am sitting down, I was spending half an hour with the student, reviewing their paper, giving them feedback verbally and in writing, and then they took that paper home and would rewrite that essay to make those corrections and turn it into me. And while I'm reviewing those rewritten essays, I'm realizing the student isn't making the corrections. The student isn't understanding everything that I'm explaining to them. There's a lack of communication there. So analyzing that problem, we came up with those two possible causes for that problem. So then we went into designing a system that would be able to deliver to that student a mini lesson on that specific grammar error. And then we developed that software it's like which came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm not sure. It's like there were pieces out there that I was aware of, and then there was a problem, and then so all those fit together, and then we were able to integrate that, and then we evaluated the results, came back and made changes. So each one of these is like I said, is like a mini lesson in a specific grammar error. And then as the test versions completed their tests, we were able to revise and improve, like the web page. This is like the Cadillac. This is the latest version. It's very specific to that particular writing error, and then it has all of the, we figured out that some students, that may not be enough information for them. They may want additional content. Some students may be more of a visual learner, and they'll do better with YouTube videos. So we modified the process as we went along through different writing samples. We will constantly make modifications on it. As each group of writing samples come in, we see additional writing errors that possibly haven't seen before. I understand where the bottlenecks are in the process from the teacher's standpoint. So what my plans are to, and I'm working on this, with creating a software that'll take those bottlenecks out of it. Because it's a very labor-intensive process you can identify the mark, and then you create the tag, then you create the web page, and then to put the grammar content on there, you gotta think, all right, how do I teach this? And then to go out and find these resources. So I know where those bottlenecks are, and the plans are to create a software that will eliminate those bottlenecks. So that's the future.